Welcome to Exile. Drew Carey and the whole Price is Right crew go homeless as they leave this classic studio they've been in for 51 years with the original Bob Barker, and they're going to move all the way over to Glendale, California. Glendale used to be my stomping grounds back when I lived in LA in the 2007 era. This is Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TeNapel. I'm a barely literate comic book artist, and the news did such a bad job that I decided to bring you the news, just the headlines that are indicative of something about our culture. Business, median business, normal businesses are now leaving LA to go to the outskirts. They can't afford it anymore. Gavin Newsom has completely jacked up his state. It's no longer financially tenable for them to redo the Price is Right studio, also where Carol Burnett used to be shot. It's no longer affordable, so they have to give it to some giant conglomerate to do all the work while they move to a new studio in Glendale. Thank you all for subscribing. Let's get into more of this news, because I once met Drew Carey, the host, back in the mid-2000s. We used to do shows in clubs where we would bring our video shows. I brought my own stuff that I directed, and he was in the audience watching with a baseball cap. He was always very kind. He's not a big fame guy, okay? He's just the most normal, humble guy. And you'll see, we're going to read a few quotes from him, how appreciative he is, even now, of his fame. Humble guy. Here's the headline. The Price is Right leaves iconic television studio after 51 years as host Drew Carey says, "I'll miss the sense of history." It's officially the end of an era. Following the season's 51 finale of The Price is Right, the long-running game show is moving out of the historic Bob Barker Studios, where it was filmed for more than half a century. This is from CBS News. The Television City studio in LA was renamed in 1998 in honor of Bob Barker. Now, I once went to that place and I saw the people lined up outside of it. There used to be a farmer's market outside of it. But this studio was always known to be pretty dumpy. I got a TV show greenlit by CBS back in the 90s called Project Geeker. I would have to go to that CBS studio for meetings with the head Judy Price, she also greenlit Pee-wee's Big Adventure. But man, this was always the dumpiest studio. I mean, CBS, they neglected this place. And now it's probably so full of cockroaches, it's practically ready to be condemned. Quote, "I'll miss the sense of history," current host Drew Carey told CBS. Now, the fact that I'm here and I'm the last one to host The Price is Right here, and they're trusting me. Glendale is where I used to live. I lived up in the hills there. It is a beautiful place. I used to love the people of Glendale. They were always famous because they were outskirts of Hollywood. And so the rent was never as expensive as inside the heart of the city. It's also easier to access. There isn't as much traffic out there as going right to the meaty middle of LA, which no longer functions and has so many homeless people and so much more crime and violence that you want to get away from this area. So I'm really happy for Drew Carey and the gang and for The Price is Right as it continues. I used to watch that show when I was a kid. I watched Bob Barker throw that wheel thing. If you watched The Price is Right when you were younger, let us know in the comments below. If you're rooting for them or if you hope they fail. Who can root against The Price is Right? I'm Doug in Exile.